Okay, everybody, what is going on? Good afternoon. Happy Friday. And I want to take a look at some of the work that Pro Football Focus has done over the last couple of weeks and see how they're ranking stuff. If you'll remember, ESPN had their little ranking series where they ranked players at each position. Pro Football Focus does the same. Want to compare and contrast where possible. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now, this video is obviously being pre-recorded the night before, so if this video goes live and the Seahawks have given a contract extension to somebody, which, again, I think is very possible, I'll talk about it when I can, but I'm not necessarily going to be able to make a video when it happens, if it happens today. So just hang tight, and if there is something to talk about there, I will talk about it later. But real quick, I want to take a look at what PFF is doing with a couple different positions here. Because, like I said, we did it for ESPN. I want to see where PFF might agree or disagree. Now, they did do tight ends a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't make a video about it because there's not a lot to say. They ranked every, I believe, starting tight end. But no, they ranked the top 32 tight ends in the NFL. And we did have AJ Barner on the list at 16, so right in the middle. And there are one or two teams that have multiple tight ends on this list, like the Steelers do with Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. So that isn't necessarily to say that he is the 16th best starting tight end in football, but that is more or less the implication. It's at the very least close enough. So not quite top 15, but very close. I think that this is going to be the season where AJ Barner kind of solidifies himself higher than this. I feel like he's actually getting very close to being a top 10 tight end in this league, but that's two different places now that have put him well outside the top 10. Right? And I mean, you look at a guy like a Colby Parkinson, Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, even Hunter Henry. These guys have been producing for years and years and years. Well, not necessarily Colby, but they've certainly had longer careers than Barner. Seems like that's doing some heavy lifting here when you're evaluating these players because if you take a look at the most recent season where AJ Barner gave you over 500 yards in a run-first offense and good blocking, I don't know if you take a lot of these tight ends in this range over AJ Barner, but Barner's got to just prove it, I guess. So I don't think this is a fair reflection of where Barner is. It's not terribly far off, but he's going to have to go out there and earn it. And look, if this is the way the league wants to look at him, then I guess that contract extension is going to be a little bit easier to sign, so it's not all bad. Okay, so the interesting thing, and the reason why I'm making this video is because they ranked the top 32 tackles in the NFL. In this article, ESPN did something similar, but this should be a little bit more expansive because they're looking at more players. So definitely interested to see what Pro Football Focus has here. And we scroll through. We get through the top 10. Not really expecting to see any Seahawks in that top 10, right? We got Trent Williams, division rival here, number 3. But yeah, no Seahawks in the top 10. But once you get past that top 10 to like the 11 and on range, you start wondering, okay, when are we going to see something? We got another division rival in Alaric Jackson, 13. Don't know Seahawks. And then we get to one at 16. Charles Cross, the 16th best tackle in the league. Now, remember, ESPN implied with their ranking list that he was 11th. So this is a little bit worse than what that ranking list series had. All right, guys, let's take a quick break here to talk a little bit about Prize Picks, currently the #1 sports pick app in America. The app is very easy to use. Check it out to my left here. You can do player picks, where you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Or you can pick teams, where you pick winners, spread, or total on any game or fight. The app is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Right now, they have a great offer. You can play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you have to do is use code HMA when you sign up. It's a brand new offer, best time possible to get on the app. So get on over there and get to winning that first lineup. So remember, Prize Picks, code HMA. Download the app today, and remember to always gamble responsibly. Their little write-up here, Cross has become a model of consistency for Seattle as its blindside protector. Across 17 games last year, including the postseason, Cross surrendered a career-low 2 sacks. He allowed just 4 pressures, all hurries, and 3 outstanding postseason performances. He and Abe Lucas should continue to give Seattle one of the better tackle duos in the NFL. So once again, I look at this, and I just feel like he's got to have another year like this. I think that the Ryan Grubb year, where Cross, I do believe, actually played pretty well that year, but got lit up in terms of his numbers because of all the passing we did. I think that one more good year is going to boost Cross's perception dramatically, possibly even into the top 10. But I feel like he just needs to have that one more really good season, and then we'll be in a really good place with how he's viewed. And obviously, we don't really care about his perception anymore. He's already been paid, so it's not like anything changes there. But again, I look at this, and I don't know, like, Darnell Wright, like, maybe he's better than Charles Cross, I don't know. Brian O'Neill, that one's a little bit tough because they don't play the same position. But to me, a guy like Alaric Jackson is like benefiting tremendously from that system in LA. I don't know how good he is. I definitely would not rather have him than Cross in a vacuum. And Colton Miller missed almost the entire season last year. I don't know about that. I don't know about putting him at 12 ahead of some really good players. So don't know if I totally agree with that. I'd probably put him a little bit higher, but right basic idea. So the next interesting question is, where's our other guy? Where is Abe Lucas? By the way, Colton McKivitz, 19, other division rival here. Paris Johnson at 21, so more people in the West. Abe Lucas, 23. He is on the list, 23rd. And since there are 64 starting tackles in the NFL, you could say he's 23 out of 64, right between Mike McGlinchey and Spencer Brown. Lucas's early development was hampered due to injuries, but his most recent campaign was both his healthiest and most productive. Including the playoffs, he tallied career highs with snaps played and his grade, 13th among qualified tackles. Postseason work was best. Elite 91 PFF grade across Seattle's 3 victories. So again, this is just another thing where he's got to do it one more time. He does it one more time, he's going to have the same kind of reputation as somebody like a Brian O'Neill. He's going to be up there with the better right tackles in the league other than the very, very top guys. So if Cross and Lucas do it again in 2026, I think Cross will be around top 12. Lucas will be around top 16. That would be my guess. So just put it on. But beyond that, the Seahawks have something here that only a few teams do. They have 2 tackles in the top 23. How many teams have better than that? Right, the Broncos, because they got Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey. They got the 49ers because of Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz. Vikings with Darisaw and O'Neal. Chargers with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. And I think that might be it. I believe that is actually every team that has 2 players at the Eagles, of course. The Eagles, Lane Johnson, Jordan, Melata. So that is a pretty exclusive group, actually, when you look at it like that. Yeah, I understand that neither player is ranked overly high. However, if you look at it like that, we're in a really good spot compared to almost every other team in the league. Only a few teams have it better in that area. Remember, Abe Lucas was not listed in any capacity on ESPN's ranking list from the scouts, GMs, and coaches. So this gives at least an idea of how the league perceives him or how good he is compared to everyone else. And it's a pretty good impression, right? That's a pretty strong. I feel pretty good about that. According to this list, we have a comparable tackle tandem to Tampa Bay. And obviously Tampa Bay's situation is very one-sided because you've got Wirfs in one spot, but then Godecki in the other spot, or better than the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills have been known to have one of the best offensive lines in football for a long time now. So when you look at it like that, things are coming together. All right. Just wanted to spend some time taking a look at that. The Seahawks do practice today. Should get some more information. Pro Football Focus should be doing interior offensive linemen soon here. So that's going to be interesting. Going to be intrigued to see if they have Zabel ranked notably high. And I will see you guys soon. So go Hawks. Again, if an extension has already happened, just give me some time. I'll get to it. And let me know what you guys think. All right. See you guys later.